Yes, my name is James Kalm of the James Kalm Report.
Do you agree with everything that's going on in the government at this time?
No, I don't.
So why are you fighting against us?
Well, because I think, for one thing, you guys haven't come out with a firm list of goals. I mean, I hear the complaining, and complaining's fine, but until you have some kind of a list of goals, something that we can try to achieve, I just see this as a bunch of complaining.
Do you have a list of goals that you propose?
You want me to do your work for you?
No, I'm asking you a question.
Well, I think rather than coming here and basically laying down in front of the powers that be, you could go out and create your own museum. We could start building things. They've been doing things out in Brooklyn like this for years. I think that the thing is, rather than trying to imitate or take over the current world, we just build our own new world.
Do you want to assist in that?
Do I want to what?
Would you like to assist in that?
Would I like to assist in it? I've been doing that kind of stuff for about 15 or 20 years now. Would you guys like to assist me?
Well, if you have all this knowledge, I think it would be productive for you to assist us instead of fight us.
Well, I would, except I don't agree with all of your techniques, and I think that there's a lot of problems in the way that the thing is set up. I think that there's also, there's a lot of structural problems, philosophical problems, and like I said, I think a lot of this is dealing with kind of a Lord of the Flies cult-like process here, and I think the chanting is actually symbolic of a kind of a cult brainwashing technique. I've seen this before. I remember the People's Temple back in, I think it was the early 70s. I've been down there almost every night for the last week and a half. I was also on the Brooklyn Bridge, at the Brooklyn Bridge protest, and at the Foley Square to Wall Street protest, and I covered the Occupy Wall Street art exhibition as well.
Have you spoken at all?
Have I spoken at all? Yes.
And what happened when you spoke?
Well, about the same thing that's happening here.
And what was that?
People keep chanting their little things and making their little hand gestures and ignore me because I'm not going along with the little cult-like practices that they have here.
Well, if you were in Congress and you outspoke in Congress, wouldn't you?
I don't want to be in Congress. I don't want to be in Congress. I think we already have the tools. We already have the tools to do what we need to do. Just that people haven't realized how to use the tools. I think there's a real lack of creativity that's going on here.
In a democratic process such as Congress, if you outspoke, wouldn't you be shut down?
I'm not in Congress. I don't want to be in Congress.
You're deflecting the question.
If I was in Congress, well, seeing as how I don't want to be in Congress, I don't know what the point of that question is. I don't want to be in Congress. I'm a troublemaker.
We're running a democratic process here.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sort of.
So you say
I don't think democracy is the perfect thing. I don't think democracy is perfect. Do you?
No.
Some people would call it the rule of the mob. You know, the Nazis were voted in democratically, and there's a lot of problems with that.
So you say you're part of the 1%. What makes you part of the 1%?
Just because somebody has to be on the outside. Somebody has to be questioning the process. Somebody has to be critiquing what's going on. That's my point. I believe that critique is very valuable, and I accept people critiquing me. And I think that people that had some insight would realize that critiquing the movement is also very important.
It is very important, and we welcome
and that's
you
my
down
job.
to Wall Street to speak.
I've been down to Wall Street.
Have you spoken with the General Assembly?
I don't want to get up there and talk in front of these people that are chanting back and making the weird hand gestures. It's just, I'm sorry, but that's too creepy. It's too creepy for me. I mean, this is like a bad episode of Star Trek or something, you know?
You have a lot to say,
sorry.
But you don't want to be heard by the General Assembly.
I'm saying what I want to say. You know, I can't control it. I can't control everybody. People want to be standing around chanting and making little hand gestures.
Make
I'm just going to do what I have to do. You know, you have your technique, I have my technique.
It seems like a child's approach.
It might be childish, or it could be foolish as well. I accept that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.